If you're indecisive like me, you probably spend most of your time on Netflix figuring out what to watch. I started watching Derry Girls after seeing reels of Nicola Coughlin's Look at the State Ya. Little did I know that I started watching what is the funniest, most heartwarming show I've ever seen. This show quickly pulled me in with its witty writing and made me stay for its deep messages mixed with incredible humor. I laughed and cried, sometimes all at once. Let's talk about why the show is so impactful and the things about it that I haven't seen anywhere else. First, I'll give you a bit of context if you haven't seen the show. Derry Girls is set in Londonderry, North Ireland. It follows the lives of five Derry girls who consist of Erin, Orla, Michelle, Claire, and James. Yes, James is a Derry girl even though he's English. They're all Catholic, lower middle class friends who go through the trials and tribulations of adolescence together. They always get into trouble, whether it's with their parents or the Queen herself, Sister Michael, at Our Lady Immaculate College, the all girls religious school they attend. Now, this show isn't anything extremely out of the ordinary. It's a bunch of kids growing up together and having fun. It's set in a high school environment, which we see in a lot of popular shows nowadays. However, Dairy Girls is far from the cookie cutter, overused tropes in those kind of shows. Derry Girls combines friendship, girlhood, humor, and serious topics in a perfectly written package. My favorite things about Derry Girls include the focus on girls and women's lives, complex relationships, and the inclusion of significant themes such as growing up and navigating heavy political topics. And yes, there will be spoilers ahead. Part 1: Women's Stories and Complex Relationships. Movies and television generally center men most of the time. Whether it's fantasy, action, or thriller, men usually get the spotlight. Along with that, they get to enjoy the most complex characterization and development. Even if there are women in a show or movie, they're usually secondary characters and we don't get to focus on their personal growth. Not to say watching movies or TV about men isn't worthwhile, but I personally don't relate to many of the characters. However, Dairy Girls focuses on girls and their growth over the course of the show. As teenagers, they make mistakes and don't always own up to their actions, but they always come back for each other and make things right. It was really refreshing to see female characters run the show, with all their wonderful quirks and character development. Throughout the progression of the show, we can see the nuanced girls that represent people in real life with their strengths and weaknesses. We also get to watch the power of female friendships, providing strength and love in difficult times. For one, Michelle's character shows the unspoken care and affection between the Dairy Girls. Michelle is a rebellious, outspoken girl who doesn't really care what people think. She curses loudly, goes after what she wants, and usually gets the Dairy Girls into trouble. If looked at without nuance, she can be abrasive and stubborn. However, I love her character because she's a very caring person underneath the surface. Part of her character is making fun of her cousin James relentlessly, to the point where he becomes the punching bag of the group. It seems like she doesn't care about him, but in season 2, episode 6, we see a different side to her. James was going to leave Derry to start a self adhesive label, not sticker, company with his mother. However, Michelle did not want James to leave. She reminded James that his mom left him here and that James is a Derry girl. She pushes him until he agrees to stay, and here we see the absolutely amazing friend Michelle is. Orla's character shows the inseparable bond between the Derry girls as they stay together no matter what anyone thinks. Orla is a character who enjoys sports and being active. She does not pick up social cues easily and often takes things too literally. One of my favorite scenes in the show is during the Lady Immaculate College's talent show in season 1, episode 6. Orla does her stepping aerobics routine, not realizing that the school is laughing at her, not with her. The other Dairy girls get embarrassed, but they get up on the stage with her and all dance together. Their display of friendship in the face of ridicule from others was heartwarming, and I cried happy tears during the scene. Also, the mothers of the Dairy Girls get their own spotlight, with throwbacks to their prom some 20 years ago. In modern media, mothers usually play secondary roles and don't have as much going on for them other than their responsibilities. Yet, Dairy Girls takes the time to go back in time and show the mothers' stories. We see the mothers' personalities matching their daughters. They all have dreams, ambitions, and desires. In season 3, episode 5, we take a look into the mom's prom during 1977. Their big secret was them all getting the same stick and poke skull tattoo, which was very taboo at the time. Derry Girls focuses not only on teenage girls, but also on adult women still living through the thrill of their teenage rebellion. Part 2. Heavy topics handled with love and humor. Religion. In season 2, episode 1, we see a conflict between Catholics and Protestants. In an effort to bond, Catholic girls and Protestant boys are brought together to discuss their similarities and differences. At first, all they could talk about were differences related to social standing, economic situation, and other things. Later, we see a comedic moment where all the parents come in and lecture their children. Aaron writes down parents under similarities between Catholics and Protestants, showing that we all share the similarity of going through our innate human experiences. Sexuality. In season 1, episode 6, Claire comes out to Aaron as lesbian. Aaron immediately goes on the defensive and says that she hopes Claire goes back in the closet. Claire's outraged and says the iconic line, "Look at the state of ya." They end up not talking to each other until all the Derry Girls dance with Orla on stage in the scene I mentioned earlier. At that time, Claire and Aaron smile at each other, and we know that everything is okay now. In addition, Aaron ends up apologizing and clears the air. Derry Girls does a good job in illustrating the prejudice that LGBTQ plus people face, but also how people can change their prejudice through awareness. And also, we get to see the beautiful friendship between Claire and Aaron, which definitely has some bad moments, but they're able to reconcile their differences. Politics and voting. In season 3, episode 6, people are going to vote on the Good Friday Agreement referendum. A large part of the agreement was releasing paramilitary prisoners and enforcing demilitarization. The issue's nuance was captured in an argument between Aaron and Michelle. Aaron says that the situation is complicated because Michelle's brother, a paramilitary soldier, killed an innocent man. However, the importance of voting is stated many times in the episode, and 72% of the population votes yes, which allows the prisoners to be released. Voting is extremely important, especially for young people who will be led by the people they vote for and the issues that matter to them. Derry Girls does a great job of showing the importance of voting and the nuance that comes with politics. War. Throughout the show, the characters live in a world filled with war. During the 1990s, there was a sectarian conflict called the Troubles between the Protestant government and the Catholic minority. The Catholics wanted Northern Ireland to unite with the Republic of Ireland, while the Protestants wanted to stay with the United Kingdom. There were bombings, parades, and roadblocks present in the show, which depicted the seriousness of the war. Derry Girls brings awareness regarding the war in Northern Ireland, and the show left me feeling very educated about the world. Overall, Derry Girls is a well written show that covers women's stories, complex relationships, and political ideas. The characters are extremely nuanced and have their flaws, but they're super lovable as well. Derry Girls will make you laugh and cry all in the same episode while teaching you important lessons about the world. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want more videos about Derry Girls, please let me know. I still have so much more I could talk about, but I didn't want this video to be 3 hours or more. I'm planning on making an entire video about Sister Michael, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day, or night, or evening, or whatever it is.